So fat tissue, adipose tissue, we used to think was the cushion. We used to think it was an inert protective sheath to, for example, now that in the middle of winter, keep us warm or help keep us warm. And we now understand that it's actually not. Like I mentioned, it's the largest endocrine organ we have in our bodies, and it produces so many different active substances that help regulate many of the factors that contribute to appetite and metabolism.
You can't really predict what your set point is in advance, right? I always say that there is a point there that's going to be that balance of the right weight for you. I always talk about the journey of your right weight. Everyone has their own weight, and I think that's ultimately what the set point is going to guide it. Now, of course, we can work against that set point. We can try to change that set point with some interventions that we do. And so your set point may change if, for example, if you start medications or you did certain restrictive diets, or like there's things that may change that. But at the end of the day, it really is a complex interplay of hormones, of brain interactions, and that really we don't have the point where I can predict where that is going to be. So that's kind of how I view it is, we don't always know until we start doing some treatments, some interventions. We may try to be able to lower that set point, but then it becomes harder to maintain that new set point. So it becomes a very complicated and dynamic factor, but it really gets to the point of the best weight for you at that time and trying to support that.
This notion that a person's weight, that number on a scale, is a reflection of lack of willpower or associated with laziness or non-compliance with a diet. And what we're proposing for you to embrace today as a new concept is that this number on the scale is not about willpower. This is a preset number regulated by very, very complex aspects of our body, not only the peripheral organs, but also our brain and also many different hormones. And as soon as you try to do something about it, the body's smart and tries to fight off that change. This is an introduction to what we'll be seeing over the next 6 weeks.
You have to be mindful. And I think the first step is that you realize that there's marketing and triggers here in the store that are set up to make me want to buy this big portion. The fact that you identified that is the most important first step. And then you figure out how do we target it.
So weight cycling is also known as yo-yo diet. So fluctuations in weight due to weight reduction and rapid weight increase. The problem with weight cycling is that evidence and studies have shown that they increase the risk of cardiometabolic disease. That includes conditions such as diabetes, heart disease. There's an increased risk of death for somebody who has fluctuated often. So rapid weight loss, rapid weight regain. And when the weight is regained, the other notion to keep in mind is that weight is very rarely muscle mass and protein. So what you're regaining is adipose tissue. This concept of weight cycling, you can see it simply as if we take a look at this cycle. So you start off with a weight gain, and then the most readily available resource is a commercial fad diet, maybe something that was promoted on the cover of a magazine or voted the best one in the year, as Jeff had said. And as soon as that weight in the body starts changing, as we learned earlier, the body defends that set point and starts turning on all these regulatory mechanisms to fight that body weight change. And so then what happens? The weight plateaus. And that certainly leads to frustration because you've put all this emphasis into trying to lose weight and the weight is now stable. Oftentimes that leads to engagement in overeating and binge eating because of the frustration, and then a compensatory restrictive dieting. And so then again, that restrictive dieting is not sustainable over time. And so then the weight gain comes right back up. And then we engage again in whatever readily accessible fad commercial diet is out there. And this notion of weight loss it's not a slide. It's not a ski slope all the way down. Weight loss is something that should be approached as a staircase, going downhill a staircase. So this weight plateau is expected. We actually look for moments of weight plateau when ultimately trying to obtain that weight loss. Right. And so we've kind of presented a very, this is a complex disease. All the diets don't work, your body, right? But there's actually evidence to support that there's a way to sustain that weight loss long term. And what we talk about a lot is a stepwise additive approach that is based on physiology referring to that set point. And these are critical components and pillars, if you'd like, that should be part of any long-term sustainable weight loss program under direction of a medical team. We always start off with the lifestyle and behavior. This is a critical component. It could be self-directed, and certainly the addition of professionally guided lifestyle and behavior. The addition of the medical nutrition therapy, that one supported by evidence. We mentioned a couple of commercial diets. Somebody asked the question of OPTIFAST. There is a clear difference between medical nutrition therapy as per the guidelines and that is considered fad and commercial. Addition of medications. We now have FDA approved medications on the market that can help treat in conjunction with the steps that I have mentioned so far. There is also an option of surgery. Now, I'm not saying that in order to lose weight, you have to have all of these. What we're presenting is that in order to be able to sustain weight loss long term, the stepwise additive approach based on physiology needs to be the foundation.